Welcome back, Rangers fans, to another episode of Broadway Blue Bleeder presents Monday Musings. Episode 12, 13, something like that. It's still mind-blowing to me that there's people out there that still listen to me. And the fact that my last two videos got over 300 views each. You guys are absolutely fucking amazing. I do have an announcement. I will be changing the name of the video series going forward. I'm going to be doing some different things with the channel, so I kind of want to make sure everything is a little bit different than other videos that I'm going to have. So going forward, I did change the name, like I said, and we will be now known as the Broadway Breakdown. So, welcome to the first episode of Broadway Blue Bleeder's Broadway Breakdown, where we break down all things New York Rangers. Yes, I went there. Yes, I'm that cheesy. Whatever. You guys love me. I love you guys. Who cares? Let's keep it moving here. We are going strong with the giveaway that I mentioned in the last video. We're getting super close. I have an announcement on that at the end of this video, so stick around to see how to enter in that. Of course, the winner, well, not winner, yeah, it's winner, I guess. The person that's randomly chosen does receive this magnificent Mike Richter autographed puck here. That's, of course, once we hit 100 subscribers on this YouTube channel. At the time of this recording, we're at 78. Super close. I appreciate you guys. Keep sharing the shit out of this. Keep telling your friends. We're going to get more interesting news as the summer goes along, and again, once we hit 100 subscribers, you guys are going to get randomly picked, or one of you guys will get randomly picked to receive that puck. So keep it coming. Thank you again. We are going to do today a mailbag episode. There hasn't really been a lot of New York Rangers news, as you guys know from watching some of my shorts. Speaking of my shorts page, I keep pointing in one of these directions and pointing you towards those shorts pages. It's going to be a lot easier because going forward, I'm going to move my shorts pages from the separate YouTube channel, put them on this one, since, you know, we're getting a lot of people that seem to like my stuff. I want some more content on here so you guys get more information, more news quicker that way. So like I said, we're going to transfer all that over here, so we're going to have another whole playlist of my shorts episodes. Basically, for those that don't know, they're 30-second clips or less of New York Rangers news. I try to put those out daily as much as I can. It's kind of tough, again, when there is no news, but we do what we can. So, you know, as the season progresses and we start getting more and more things coming in, the lesser known news is that we don't need to do emergency videos or anything like that. Those will be in those 30-second clips. You know, I just want to get you guys as much Rangers information as I can, the best way I can, the fastest way we can, and, you know, I think that's the easiest way to do it. So that'll be a good change going forward. Like I said, this is going to be a mailbag episode. I think once the season starts, I might do them once a month. At this point in time, we're probably going to do them once every 4 episodes or so, because like I said, there's not a whole lot of news. Hopefully coming soon, there will be a bunch of news. We do have the upcoming draft. We have the expansion draft. We have free agency. We have trades going down now that the Stanley Cup is over. Yes, we all know Tampa Bay won. Congratulations on your second cup. Whatever, I'm not going to touch that. It's a sore subject for a lot of people, apparently. But I am giving homage to the captain, Ryan McDonough. Congratulations on your second cup. Guy's a warrior. Great to see him lift that cup. But yeah, basically, that's what we have going on for this episode. Anybody out there that knows or you are an editor, please reach out to me. Still looking for an editor to do some quick things on these videos, make them a little bit better for you guys. You don't have to listen to my stupidity as much, my rambling. And those choppy cuts, I know they're not the greatest, but hey, guys gotta have some water, gotta pee sometimes too. But having said that, I am going to dive right in about 2 seconds. Right, welcome to the mailbag episode. Like I said, this is the first in hopefully a series going forward. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want to do these more often, or any reviews on this. You know, obviously, like I said, it's my first time doing a mailbag, so hopefully this goes smoothly. Fingers freaking crossed. First question up kind of goes with 2 different questions. Question 1, Plan B. What would it be if the Jack Eichel deal does not happen for the New York Rangers? That was sent in by dblock838 on Instagram. Kind of ties in with another question. I'll answer that along with question number 2. This is from Oof420 on TikTok. They ask, what is your biggest concern about this Rangers team that could get fixed in the offseason? The reason, obviously, I'm saying Eichel Plan B falls into this is because Eichel would be one of the ways I would try to fix this team. Rangers have no center depth. I know there's tons of people out there very concerned about the trade price for Jack Eichel, his injury, and his salary cap. I don't know this for a fact. Nobody's told me this. This is based off my own opinions and what I'm thinking is going on with this team. But as far as the salary cap goes, the plan is, if the Rangers get Jack Eichel, is to also keep Mika Zibanejad here. They are not going to get Eichel at the expense of Zibanejad, because if that's the case, then when Zibanejad leaves, they're in the same position they are in right now. And they probably won't have Strome at that point, so they don't even have a good, decent center number 2. So they will have to make some sacrifices, of course, to make that happen, but you don't have a lot of teams in the NHL with 2 top centers, because that is what Jack Eichel is. Jack Eichel, when healthy, I'd say is a top 7 center in the league. He's a great talent. He's young. I think he's 25 years old. He has a neck injury, and it's very shady what's going on with his injury. For those that don't know, Buffalo Sabres say he doesn't need surgery, that physical therapy should work fine. Jack Eichel's camp is saying no, he wants surgery. Again, these are my own opinions here. I don't know if that means, if he were to say come to the Rangers and the Rangers say, hey, we really don't think you need surgery, is he going to turn around and go, okay, I agree, let's do PT and get this neck fixed? Is this just another power move to get out of Buffalo by disagreeing with what Buffalo thinks is best for him? I don't know. But regardless, I don't think the price we're going to have to give up is going to be as much as much as you think, number one. But number 2, you're getting an elite player who's not even in his prime yet. He's 25. He still has a long way to go. Having said that, I do think the price is way outblown out there in Twitter world and hockey world in general. A lot of fans seem to think we're going to have to give up La for Kakko or someone plus them. I don't think that's going to be the case. I've said this a few times on my shorts. I know for a fact that Buffalo has come out and said they're looking for 4 to 5 first-round type talents. Very, very simple for the Rangers to do without gutting their team. Which brings me to the second point of the answer I wanted to this. We have too much depth for once in an organization's life on the wings and on defense. How do we fix that? You trade that depth. So for a package for Eichel, you're looking at potentially Ryan Strome, Kravtsov, Nils Lundqvist, 2 firsts, and maybe Buchnevich if you want them to retain salary. No, do I want to give up Buch? No, I love Buch. I think he's a great 2-way player. He's one of the top 6 Rangers on the team. Maybe not. I'd say top 6 on the team. But if they're going to retain some of that salary and that way we can sign Zibanejad when the time comes, I'm doing that trade 15 times. Yes, it's going to suck to lose him, but we're not losing an untouchable. We're not losing Fox. Obviously, he's untouchable. I think Loft's untouchable. Kakko's in that tier. I think if this deal is right, you might see Kakko be traded, but I highly doubt it. And same thing with Keandre Miller. Outside of them, Panarin's not going anywhere. Zibanejad's not going anywhere. That's not a terrible deal. That's not a lot to give up, and you still have a solid top 2 lines that could rival potential, other top lines in the league. You have a young guy in Kakko on at least one of those lines, and you have Loft on the other line. To me, it's a no-brainer. I don't know if they do that. I don't know how people feel about it. That's just an example. But I think people out there thinking you're going to have to give up Keandre Miller, Nils Lundqvist, Kravtsov, and Kakko to get Eichel is just, that's way too high. At that point, I think Chris Drury would say, absolutely not. I'm out. See ya. Goodbye. But we'll see. I could be totally wrong. They may give up a king's ransom. They may not. I personally don't think it's going to be much. I really think he's going to be worth it. And who knows? Maybe he'll lead us to a Stanley Cup. Maybe he'll lead us to 3, 4, 5 straight years of number 1 picks. That's, the risk you take in the NHL, and that's a risk I think the Rangers should take with a talent like Jack Eichel. That's just my opinion. And outside of that, another fix I think you're going to need to see that everybody loves touching on, the key words, is the grit sandpaper factor, which gets into my next question that I received. This is from Jake, the Rangers fan on TikTok. Asks, who would I like to see the New York Rangers sign this offseason? Tons of names out there that are coming out that I'm starting to look into more and more. I do think the Rangers are going to overpay for 1 or 2 players in the offseason, whether that's that grit sandpaper type or just a third liner that's going to help fill out this team. remains to be seen. Some names out there that I've looked into. I think Casey Cizikas has a really good chance of being a New York Ranger. I think he's going to be the one they overpay for. Hopefully I'm wrong. Blake Coleman or Goodrow from Tampa Bay. I think there's a very good chance that one of them are a Ranger come next year. That's Barclay Goodrow. Brendan Smith. I've harped on that a lot. He's a defense that knows his team. He loves playing in New York. Grit sandpaper type guy. Players love playing with them. He would have to sign a deal, very cheap, understanding that he's only a backup 7th D man, but he's still a great player. I think that would be good to have on this team. I hate to say this guy's name because we all know what he did to us, but Alec Martinez wouldn't be bad to be on this team. Another veteran D guy, brings grit, sandpaper, that experience to the team. Names that I looked up today that kind of jumped out to me. There's Alex Galchenyuk. He's currently with Montreal. Decent player. He'd be a third-line center, winger maybe, depending on what happens if Buchnevich goes anywhere and Kreider stays with the team, or he doesn't and he continues his decline. Maybe he jumps up to the second-line wing, maybe first, whatever. He wouldn't be bad. I don't think he's going to be available. I did look into that today to see if he was, because I could have swore he was available, or he wasn't available, but it seems to be as a free agent, so he's a good name to look into. And Sean Curlin. I don't remember where I saw. I think he's from the Bruins. He's another big defenseman. Brings that, tough hitting, aggressive physicality that the Rangers sorely lack. I think those are some good names to look at this offseason. Surely there's some other ones out there that I've missed. Maybe some of these guys I'm completely lost on, but I think they might fit in pretty well with this team and what we're looking to do moving forward. Next question is, who are your favorite prospects in the draft? Very, very good question. I apologize for not having the name. I'm looking that up right now. I apologize. Hold on one second. And that question came from That Rangers Fan 26 over on TikTok. Again, that is, who are your favorite prospects in this draft? This draft is a very weak draft from top to bottom. You're not going to find any prospects really jumping out at you. I don't think there's a true number one at this point in this draft like there has been the last few years. Powers, the kid that's saying most people are expecting to go to Buffalo. He would be maybe 3 or 4 in last year's draft, maybe even lower, and same thing with Kakko's draft. So there's not a lot of heavy talent at the top. Having said that, that's not the worst thing in the world, because I really don't expect the Rangers to have a first-round draft pick this year. It's going to be a valuable commodity when they're trying to make their trade for center depth or wing depth, whatever they're going to do. They are going to make a move, I feel, and that will include the 15th pick. However, if they don't have that, there are a few names out there that I do like. I will apologize now. I'm not huge on prospects at this point. I am trying to get some more knowledge on them, but the names that I have heard that jump out at me, I don't remember how to pronounce his first name. Adi Rati, I believe is his name. He was the consensus number 1 pick a couple years ago for this draft. Apparently the pressure of everything kind of got to him. He started playing pretty poorly and dropped off a lot of teams' boards. Having said that, I think he's ranked pretty well near the 15th pick, so he may be available around the Rangers' time. He obviously has the skill set there. Pressure just got to him. Good situation would be the Rangers. They're not going to rely on him to be that number 1 type player. They'll be able to let him season down in Hartford, bring him up slowly, or even trade him, if the time comes that they need some other center or other pieces. There's a guy by the name of Fyodor Svechkov. These are all pretty much big, burly centers I'm looking for. Again, Rangers have not a lot of center depth. They need some center depth, which is why I was looking at him. And Mason McTavish is another big guy that would be pretty good for the Rangers. I believe I did find a winger, right wing, by the name of Nikita Chibrikov. Again, he's another rugged, big, I believe he's 6 foot, 205, 206 right winger. Could bring that grit sandpaper mentality that the team's lacking. You get it. And then there is, if anybody falls, the one guy I would want to fall to the Rangers would be Jesper Wallstedt. Another, again, good center. Wins majority of his faceoffs. He's more not a specialist, but he would be better suited again for that third line. has some scoring, has some speed, some aspects that you want in a pick, but again, overall, the tiers aren't that groundbreaking, and I really don't expect the Rangers to have a pick in the first round in this draft, unless it's from another team. Then I was looking at the wrong prospects, and you got me on that one. But I really don't expect them to have a draft pick this season. Again, they were all big, rugged players that fit the mold that this Rangers team needs. So I think that's going to be a big key this offseason. I think that's going to be a key word this offseason. Big, rugged, sandpaper, you name it, physical. Things we all know that the Rangers need to be more of a complete team instead of a finesse team like they've been. Next question was submitted over on YouTube from Go Giants. Go Giants wants to know if he can get a shout out. Abso-fucking-lutely. What up, Go Giants? Thank you so much for being a subscriber, watching the videos. Love having some back and forth conversation with you. I will, I was going to say unofficially, but it's not unofficial. Unfortunately, say I am not a Giants fan. I'm also not a Jets fan. Don't know if you can see it. I am back here an Atlanta Falcons fan, so I know what it's like to lose. It fucking sucks. So hopefully this rebuild goes quick. Hopefully the Rangers get what they need to do. Keep watching. Pay attention. I don't know why I said pay attention, but thank you. I'm weird. Don't ask. Next question from Instagram, Kimmy837. How will the Rangers decide who to protect for the expansion draft? Great question. So very great question. Like I said, there's a couple different components to the expansion draft, so I'm going to dive into a couple of different rules. Number one is on July 17th at 3 p.m., the expansion draft trade and waiver freeze begins. So during that period, up until the expansion draft, no other trades, no signings, nothing like that can happen unless it deals with the Seattle Kraken directly. By July 17th at 5 p.m., teams must submit their protection list for the expansion draft to the league, and then the draft itself is on the 21st. So between now and then, a bunch of things are going to happen. One of the good things that the Rangers situation that they're in is that they have a lot of young guys that are already protected that aren't included in this draft. So there's not a lot of decisions having to be made. I think the most interesting decision is going to be for the forward group, especially given that there is recent movings on the forward group just this week alone. So for those that don't know, the expansion draft, you have two choices as a team. You have to protect certain skaters. You can have either 7 forwards, 3D, 1 goalie, or you can do 8 skaters in total with 1 goalie. The way the Rangers are currently constructed, they're probably most likely going with the 7-3-1. Makes a lot more sense given the guys they have to protect than going with the 8-1. So as far as the skaters go, I believe it's any first or second year players are ineligible for the draft. If you have a no movement clause, you must be protected, so that's using up one of those spots. And then if you have an expiring contract, you're exempt because then there's no team that can play you. So as far as the Rangers go, that's guys like Kakko, Laf, Kravtsov, Lindgren, I think I said Fox, K'Andre Miller. Those guys, they're all exempt from the draft. Shesterkin's exempt because of his time in the NHL. So that's the good news. That's why it's really good for the Rangers to be young at this point. They're not going to have to worry about making tough decisions. As far as protected forwards, I can give you 6 guarantees at this point. You're going to have Buch, you're going to have Eichel, Kreider with his no movement clause, Panarin has a no movement clause, Zibanejad no movement clause, and they're going to protect Strome. That leaves Blackwell, Gauthier, Rooney, and Howden. Howden is important because he was a restricted free agent this offseason, and he just signed an extension with the Rangers, letting him be exposed to Seattle. So if the Rangers choose to expose him, they can now save someone else, which is my hope. I personally hope they either protect Rooney or Gauthier. Blackwell was great last season. He just doesn't have a spot on this team. I don't want him taking spots from the kids. I think Gauthier kind of got the raw end of the deal under Quinn. I think he has a lot more potential than people know that he has. And I think Gallant could use his talents very well. And I really like the way Kevin Rooney played for us last year. He's very gritty. He's a penalty killer. He does the dirty jobs. I think he's kind of like a Jesper Fast in a smaller body. And I think he would just be better. I think he would be the best guy to protect personally. But a lot of people out there think they're going to protect Howden. I don't know what it is Howden brings to the table. Every advanced statistic that you can find on the guy is terrible. I don't know how he continues to find himself in the lineup. I don't think he has a place in the lineup under Gallant, so I think that's one of the reasons they expose him. But him re-signing was kind of big. I think that did signal that the Rangers are going to kind of dangle him out there for Seattle to take. Hopefully they take the bite and he goes, or, Blackwell goes. But I hope we just protect Jeremy. Personally, I think he would be the best guy to protect. Going forward after that, you have your defense. So defense, I was wrong. Lindgren is not exempt, so he has to be protected. So that's one of the 3 slots. Other slot goes to Jacob Trouba. He has his no movement clause. So again, Keandre Miller, Adam Fox are both exempt from this. They don't have the service time put in, so that they cannot be selected in an expansion draft. So the Rangers do have one additional protection spot on defense, where I think they could go a separate route than some people are currently thinking. That protection spot could be either for Libor Hayek or Anthony Bitetto. There is a chance that could be used on could feasibly be used on Tony DeAngelo. It won't be. He's going to be bought out. Probably not before the expansion draft by all accounts from what I've heard, but I've also heard conflicting reports, so who knows. But there's no way Tony DeAngelo is wearing a New York Rangers jersey next year. Just don't see it happening. So that leaves either Hayek the Kayak or Anthony Bitetto. 2 guys that you're not really wanting to use a protection slot on. They're kind of a dime a dozen type guys. Hayek is not living up to his first round status. By the way, Tampa Bay did draft him, so Tampa Bay does have some misses in their draft picks, just like they drafted Howden, but that's a whole different story. And Bitetto is a dime a dozen type of guy. So what can the Rangers do in that instance? The Rangers can actually go out and make a trade for someone that wouldn't be protected on a different team. So if a team has 4 defenders that they really want to protect, but they can only protect 3, that 4th guy they're basically losing for nothing. So what they can do is before the freeze happens, they can ask around, hey, we're trying to get this guy out of here for something instead of losing him for nothing at the expansion draft. Do you want him? What do you want for him? I think one of the guys the Rangers might look at is Shane Gostisbehere from Philly. I know he's fallen out of favor with them. They're looking to get rid of him. I think he would be a great 3rd pair D-man going forward. I don't know if it's plausible. I didn't really look into the numbers, but maybe we can work out a deal where Tony DeAngelo goes to Philly and we get Gostisbehere. I think Tony DeAngelo ends up in Philly regardless of what happens with the buyout. Maybe the Rangers save more money during the buyout. I should have looked into that before going into this. It's just something that formed in my mind a couple minutes ago. But that's something the Rangers could do. They can trade for a different player that another team doesn't want to lose for nothing. They grab him, and now they have that 3rd protection slot that they use for him, and they let Bitetto, Hayek, whoever else be exposed for Seattle. So that's definitely, I think, a route I think they're going to go. There's been a lot of talk that they want to add a senior defenseman, a vet D-man back there, so maybe that's the route they go to do that. Like I said, as far as goalies go, Igor Shesterkin is exempt, so that leaves it down to either protecting Georgiev or Kincaid. In this case, I think it's kind of a no-brainer that they're going to take on Georgiev and expose Kincaid. Obviously, Georgiev's a little bit younger, a little bit more cost-controlled, better overall. Sorry, Kincaid, I love you, but I think Georgiev's a little bit better there. So that would leave a list of Howden, Blackwell, Gauthier. Yeah, you get it. I just expansion draft's going to be tricky for most teams. I think the Rangers are in a really great spot. I think they really, if they go the route I think they're going to go, they're probably going to end up losing Gauthier or Howden over to Seattle, maybe Blackwell. I don't think they'll lose a D-man. I don't think they're going to lose Kincaid. But we'll see. I think that's going to be an interesting time. It's going to be a very short impacted offseason, because right after the expansion draft, I believe it's a couple days later, is the entry draft. So we'll see. trades go down then maybe, which leads us into the next question. Bobby Ganoush on Instagram wants to know, before or after the expansion draft will a Jack Eichel trade happen? I am hoping it's before, just because the anticipation has been killing me. I gave my thoughts on what I think an emergency plan B would be for the Rangers. I'm very curious to see what the Rangers' plan B would be if Eichel falls through, because I still believe he's the number one guy on our list to acquire this offseason. So I think it'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to happen until after the expansion draft. I think it'll be in the couple days leading up to the entry draft, if not during the entry draft itself. I think that would make a lot of tension and a lot of great TV for NHL. Trades happening, big blockbuster trades happening during the draft, which would be great for new ratings, obviously with their new TV deal. Who knows? We'll see. I hope, like I said personally, that it's before. I hope it's tomorrow, just so we can move on from this one way or the other. But I think it'll be after the expansion draft, but before the entry draft. So that's really it for the questions. Thank you guys so much for those questions. I'm really having a fun time doing these. I love doing research. That was great. As I mentioned in the beginning, the giveaway's going great. We're really close to 100 subscribers, which is fucking awesome. I couldn't believe it when I see it. You guys have been great. I can't appreciate you guys enough. But there is an issue with YouTube subscribing. I can't see everybody that has subscribed. Not everybody is public. So to fix that, because I can't pick a name that way, what I'm going to need you guys to do is just a little bit of homework for me. But like I said, free of charge, you're getting this puck. Mike Richter autograph there on the front. Beckett certificate in the back. I shit you not. I wouldn't shit you guys. You're Rangers fans. I'm a Ranger fan. I wouldn't fuck around. You will win that. So you do have to do a little bit of work for me. So what I'm going to need once we hit 100 subscribers, I figured I'd give you guys a heads up that are subscribed now. I need you to take a screenshot of the YouTube page where you can see that you're subscribed. That little subscribe button's clicked. I'm going to need a screenshot of that. Maybe take a screenshot of your favorite video so far, favorite funny moment from a video. Go down into the info through this video. You're going to see my link for my Twitter page. What you're going to do on Twitter is either DM me or tag me in a post. Use the hashtag BroadwayBlueBleeder100. BroadwayBlueBleeder, the number 100, all one word, hashtag before it, and post the picture that you're subscribed. Leave me your username as well on YouTube. That way we can confirm everything. And if you win, I can send out a DM to you directly and get your information. I think that would be the easiest way for everybody to do it. Just a couple quick clicks. Like I said, either DM me or just tag me directly. But make sure you use the hashtag BroadwayBlueBleeder100. Makes it a lot easier for us to sort through the posts. So go do that now while this video is wrapping up and I'm awkwardly turning the page to make sure I have nothing left, which I don't. Hopefully the next time we put out another video, some big news will happen. Like I mentioned in the last video, any big breaking news goes down during the week. We'll do a quick emergency video, maybe jump on a live, get some, actual live viewers on here. We can do some back and forth chat and see what happens. As always, guys, I appreciate you all. Let's go Rangers.